Cyclists. I'm sure in your minds the word is synonymous with twat, causing traffic collisions, being a general nuisance to public safety, going 40 in a 20 zone, 20 in a 40 zone. Help, cyclists have raided my village and crucified my family. So we all know the stories, but just how bad are they? In 2016 alone, cyclists caused serious injuries to 108 pedestrians on British roads and caused a further 3 deaths. This has been more than double the 2006 statistic. So I decided to go out into the streets of Brighton to see what the general public think of this, considering Brighton has one of the most successful bike share programs in Britain. So do you think cyclists get an unfair or undeserved reputation at all?
Yes, definitely motorists generally don't like cyclists.
I feel that cyclists get pretty hard done by, to be honest, you know.
They're road hogs, especially on the pavement.
Most of them are pretty sensible, but sometimes you see them taking risks.
I don't know, they just don't move as fast as cars. You know, you wouldn't see people walking in the road or running in the road.
They think they are law into themselves. If you actually tell them anything, they tell you to fuck off, or even better, they actually aggress you.
So there you have it. From what people have been telling me, there's no one else on the road as dangerous as cyclists. Well, actually there is, and they have one name: motorists. The Danish Road Directorate found that in areas with no cycling infrastructure, 14% of bike riders were found to commit traffic violations. Yet this falls to just 5% when it is readily available. Yes, that number may seem high, but if you compare it to the 66% of motorists who commit this frequently, then you'll realise maybe the cyclists aren't actually an issue on the road so much as you think. I brought this statistic up to a few people and I decided to see what they thought about it.
If there isn't a safe place for cyclists to cycle, then yeah, I guess they're going to have to break the law.
So you don't believe that the cycle lane itself is helping the issue at all?
Making it worse, most definitely.
Do you believe that that's just a Danish thing and that cyclists here are much more selfish at all?
It has to do with the British as a whole. They think they can do whatever they want to do.
I think it's really helpful. I think it will encourage you if people know where they're supposed to go, and obviously if other road users understand that as well.
So when I told you that statistic about the 3 fatalities and 108 serious injuries, there was something I didn't tell you. That in the same year, there were 448 pedestrians killed. Those 3 deaths only accounted for 0.7% of pedestrian casualties on the roads in 2016. 289 people were killed by a car. That is 65%. So why is it that cyclists are seen in a bad light? They cause less accidents. They're better for the planet in the long run. They don't cause pollution whilst using them. And at the same time, they're a form of exercise. Perhaps in 2020, as climate change begins to increase and become more apparent with decimated animal kingdoms and rising sea levels, we should be pushing for this form of green transportation before Highland Scotland is seen as a beachfront property.